You will not see a bigger 3 points this season, in my opinion. It was massive. Aston Villa, 11 wins in a row, including beating Spurs, Manchester United. They've beaten Man City this season. They've beaten Arsenal recently. They turn up to the Emirates. Arsenal, all week, their fans, chest out, we're going to beat Villa. We will beat Villa. That performance today is what champions are made of. That is the foundation that you build on. And Gabriel, by the way, if anyone doesn't believe that is the best centre-back in the Premier League, that is the best centre-back in Europe, that is the best centre-back in world football. 9 games out, goal, man of the match performance, 3 points. Ollie Watkins, until the 90th minute, did absolutely nothing. And I actually said on my Aston Villa match reaction against Chelsea that I believe they will go and get 3 points. I said with chest that I believe they go and beat Arsenal. I said with chest, I believe they turn up to the current leaders of the league and win. I could not have been any more wrong. 4-0, or 4-1, sorry. Absolute domination. Domination. Martin Odegaard today. Zubimendi today. With no Declan Rice as well, by the way. No Declan Rice. Their best player this season. The engine in the midfield. The so-called captain on the pitch. The leader. The manager's voice. Not there today. They go out there and they score 4. Honestly, you can't put into words how big that 3 points is. Because if Aston Villa would have won today and Man City go to the Stadium of Light tomorrow against Sunderland, let's be honest, Man City probably will win that game. But if the scenario of Aston Villa happening, if they would have won, City could have been top of the league tomorrow. And Arsenal say, no. You're not coming to our turf. You might have beaten us a couple of weeks ago, but this is a different game now. This is a different 3 points. This is a different stadium. This is our house. And they absolutely batter them. They destroyed Aston Villa. Do you know what? They humbled Aston Villa. A lot of people have been talking about title charges. A lot of people have been talking about, can Aston Villa win the Premier League? That is what champions do. And that is an Arsenal team that have matured. That is an Arsenal team that have grown. Years of heartache without winning a Premier League title. Bantered week in, week out for finishing second. And today, they haven't won the league yet. But honestly, I believe they are the favourites. And you got an input performance like that. The only performance I would say that will be bigger than that is if they go to the Etihad and win. This season, they've beaten Bayern Munich at home. They absolutely dismantled us 4-1, just like they did Aston Villa. A big 3 points. You can't explain in words how big that is. You really, really can't. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. We are 80. Only 80 of you have got to subscribe for us to hit 86,000. But more importantly, go down and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get over to Henry Talks Tottenham, the second channel. Excuse me. It will be pinned down below. But listen, that is a massive 3 points. Genuinely. Rodgers today did nothing. Ollie Watkins didn't score until the very, very end. I don't necessarily think Aston Villa got the lineup correctly. I thought Maatsen should have started this game. I'm not sure if it was an injury. Lindelof, Konsa, a decent centre-back pairing, couldn't live with Arsenal today. And Gyokeres had a couple of chances. On another day, this would have been 6 or 7. Onana, I thought he had a really, really good first half. 2 or 3 decent runs into Arsenal's defensive third. Yuri Tillemans, Buendia, Rodgers, hooked in the 82nd minute, couldn't really impact the game. I'm sure they'll bounce back and go and beat Nottingham Forest at the weekend. Jadon Sancho hooked early. Couldn't really do anything in this game. Pretty much the story of his career whenever he's played against Arsenal. Arsenal went with David Raya, Urian Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Nketiah. What a signing Nketiah's been, man. I was so annoyed when this guy rejected us. But let's be brutally honest. You can see why he rejected us. You can see it. Zubimendi, I thought, was fantastic today. Martin Odegaard got a really good assist. Mikel Merino, Trossard with a goal and assist. Gyokeres and Saka. But they really strengthened this game off the bench. You know, Gabriel Jesus comes off the bench, gets a really, really good goal. Lewis Skelly, he needs to get more minutes if he wants to make that World Cup squad. Ben White, Noni Madueke. I thought as well, Aston Villa would have started McGinn, but they didn't. Daniel Malin come off the bench, was involved in Aston Villa's goal. But bearing in mind, when you look at players missing today, first team player Declan Rice, first team player Ricardo Calafiori, Pau Torres first team, Matty Cash first team, and Kamara first team. Those stupid yellow cards against Chelsea for Matty Cash and Kamara probably cost them today, because Aston Villa go into this game in unbelievable form. We'll come on to Arsenal and talk about their brilliance. But this defeat, as much as it does humble Aston Villa, to win 11 games on the bounce in the form that they have, they should be very, very proud of themselves. They then go against Nottingham Forest at the weekend in the early kickoff, 12:30. You'd imagine they bounce back comfortably. Then they've got Crystal Palace, who aren't in the best of form recently. 5 games without a win. You'd imagine they beat them, and then 100% they beat us in the FA Cup. But today is all about Arsenal. It's all about that second half. 4 goals. The first half, I'll be honest, Aston Villa were causing them problems. The amount of times Onana was making some attacking runs. Ollie Watkins had 2 chances. On another day, maybe Ollie Watkins finds the back of the net. Equally, in the first half, Vic Gyokeres, 2 headers, big, big chances. I've never seen a striker play in an Arsenal shirt who is so desperate for a goal. And what doesn't help him as well is the fact that how good Jesus was when he come off the bench, scores, rips his shirt off. What doesn't also help him is the fact that Kai Havertz is back, fit, ready to go. He may even start Gabriel Jesus against Bournemouth at the weekend. But that today was an unbelievable second half. The first half was even. You know, Arsenal might have had more possession in parts. Villa might have had more possession in parts. Both equally didn't take their chances. Second half, when we speak about half-time team talks, you would imagine that Mikel Arteta would have said something along the lines of, do you want to win the Premier League? Do you want to lift that league title come May? Because these are the sort of performances you need to go in. Then they go out there, score 4. 4 very good goals, by the way. The first goal, Bukayo Saka puts the corner into a dangerous area. And when we speak about world-class centre-backs, when we speak about the best centre-back in Europe right now, don't care what anyone says, to miss 9 games, which is what? A third of a season, a quarter of a season, sorry. To miss that amount of time, to not be fully fit, to start in a big game against Aston Villa, go out there and score the opening goal. We speak about clutch defenders, big centre-backs, captains, leaders. That is what you get with Gabriel Magalhaes. Today, he was electric. From minute 1 to whenever he went off in the second half, he was very, very good. Gets the goal, takes the pressure off of Arsenal, makes it 1-0 with a header from the corner. All Saka had to do was put the ball in an area because he knows that Gabriel will attack it. There is no better centre-back in the Premier League in the air than Gabriel. And that was a big, big goal. The second goal comes only a few minutes later. Martin Odegaard, who's been in the spotlight at times this season for Arsenal. Is he doing enough? Has he done enough? This season, I think this is the sort of performance he would have needed. He's got the goal against Brighton, which is a big 3 points. Bounces back, from the criticism, follows it up. The weight of pass wins the ball back from Aston Villa's midfield. The weight of pass into Zubimendi, pass the ball round Yuri Tillemans. The weight of pass is exquisite. The finish equally from Zubimendi is very, 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 very good. Outside of the boot, bottom corner, Martinez, no chance. Absolutely no chance. And then you're thinking, right, well, that's game, set, and match. Because I didn't really thought Aston Villa in the second half would come back into the game. They only had 3 shots on target in the entire game, and one of them was basically on the goal line from Ollie Watkins to get a goal on his 30th birthday. And do you know what? I didn't think Ollie Watkins had a bad game. But when they got that second goal, I was sitting there thinking, well, that's that. Because when you got Gabriel and Saliba, you don't really look at them and think panic stations. You look at them and think composure, leadership, quality, ability. 3-0 comes around. Trossard, Urian Timber, lays the ball into his path, and he runs onto it, wraps his foot around it. Martinez doesn't even see the ball until very late, and by then it's already ripped into the back of the net, and you're thinking, wow. You're sitting there thinking, that is a massive goal from Leandro Trossard. As big a goal, probably he will score this season. And he scored some big ones. You know, I brought out a transfer video earlier today speaking about how Arsenal needs to sign a left winger. I put out a video saying why Arsenal need to sign a left winger. But Leandro Trossard has now got what? Is that his 8th goal in all competitions this season? Really stepped up. I think he's got 5 goals and 4 assists in the league. And I think he's got 3 GA in the Champions League. So double digits for goal contributions. Really steps up with a goal. And then Gabriel Jesus off the bench scores the best goal of the match with pace, with precision, whips it past Martinez, makes it 4-0. And then Aston Villa get a consolation goal very, very late on from Ollie Watkins. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the underlying data, more shots, higher XG, more shots on target, 6 big chances created. And they scored 4, but they also missed 4 big chances. That is as big a points as you will see all season, because they've now extended their gap over Aston Villa to 6 points. And bearing in mind, Man City have to go to the Stadium of Light on New Year's Day, which is no consolation or no guaranteed points. You'd expect them to win. However, the way they're playing with Ryan, Cherky and Foden and Haaland, you'd expect them to win. But City haven't got an easy run in. They've got to play Newcastle in the Cup. They've got to play Chelsea, Man United in the league. Man United being away. How Man United didn't win tonight either is unbelievable. But for Arsenal, it's all about the 3 points. They have to now go and follow it up by beating Bournemouth. And then after that, they've got a massive 3 points on the Thursday against Liverpool. But again, they haven't got an easy run either. Inter Milan doesn't really matter because they're already pretty much through. Man United, Forest, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Bournemouth. I believe they've also got Leeds as well at the end of Jan. Yes, they have. It's a big, big month coming up for Arsenal, and they have to add a winger as well. Make sure you go down, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.